Well, from the Jenners to new movies in theaters, there's a lot going on in Hollywood, which means I need to invite on my go-to gossip girl from TaraOnTV.com, who travels all over the world to get the latest, but not just all over the world. I want you to know Tara just traveled all the way to K-Town, Tennessee. That's Knoxville, Tennessee, to my town. Didn't you, Tara?
Can I just say your house is nicer than any place I have ever stayed in my travels. It is stunning, and thank you and your husband were so gracious. My husband fell in love with your husband. We may have just lost the two of them, but thank you for the hospitality. That was a great trip.
Well, it was so much fun to have you there. You know, when you live in the middle of, Tennessee, in the middle of the country, it's hard to get people to come visit sometimes.
Well, it's funny. We were there for a Harley trip. I've never seen the Blue Ridge Parkway, and I thought, you know what? Why not fly into Knoxville? It's right by Moll's mansion, and we can see her do our little Harley trip and rough it, and maybe I'll bump into you again. But it was so fun. The weather was beautiful. I'm sorry about the game. I know it was a close one for you guys.
It was. Georgia beat us at the last second. And my girl, Brooke Anderson from E.T., is a Georgia Bulldog, and we were texting each other because she's pregnant and couldn't come to the game. And she was such a nice fan, though. I mean, she didn't rub it in at all. She felt sorry for me.
That's sweet. That's really sweet. I'm glad she did that. But
she
thanks
did.
Again. It was such a blast. But I have to tell you, being on a Harley for 4 days, I missed a bunch of news.
Yeah.
Come back and find out the Jenners are splitting.
I know. I guess part of me isn't surprised. Part of me is surprised. They just signed this $40 million deal, right?
Yeah, they did. And apparently they never signed a prenup. And apparently they're worth over $125 million. I'm like you. The only reason I'm a little surprised is because I was stunned. They lasted. I thought this would happen years ago.
Right.
And it didn't. And I thought, you know what? Maybe they will be together forever. But I got to tell you, it's hard to find a reality show these days where the people involved don't end up divorced or angry or something. Well,
and it's hard when it plays out on the air. That's the problem. And I think the one thing the show did show to me, and I love the Kardashians, for all that they go through. At the end of the day, they seem very close. And apparently they're going to stay close friends, hopefully, as this plays out over the next, 3 years, because he did sign on to continue with the show. But what it did show to me is they are two completely different people in a marriage.
Well, not only that, and sometimes that's a good thing.
Well, no.
Just, I got the sense she runs the show.
Yeah.
She runs all over him. And don't forget, and maybe being a stepmom, I'm a little sensitive to this, he's got 4 kids from previous marriages. I get the sense he doesn't do a whole lot with them. I know that he's been reconnecting with a few of them on this past season. I just feel like, in general, the priorities here have been a little bit skewed for the most part, and now all of a sudden, here's the wake-up call. They're splitting. And the other sad thing is, for somebody that invites the media, now they're demanding privacy, which there's no way. You can't open your lives up and then all of a sudden something really bad happens.
But I think what happens, and the thing is, honestly, I really believe in relationships that you do have to be of some like mind. You have to have the same core belief in order for a marriage to work. And if you're coming at it from two different places, it just doesn't work. And the fact that they say that they are living separately and much happier does not surprise me. I mean, you saw that play out. And as long as they can work together for the sake of the kids, I mean, no one ever wants to see somebody get divorced. But if they're miserable and not happy, it affects everybody.
Well, and the other big thing, too, and I'll bet you and Charlie are similar. I know my husband and I are similar. You and I kind of enjoy the camera. We're in front of it at times. We like it. They don't like it.
No, they don't like it.
And I think Bruce probably at one point really loved it.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that all this media stuff, I mean, that just takes its toll. And I don't think Kris Jenner ever got sick of the media, whereas, you watch the show and he's annoyed. He doesn't want to be...
Right. But it's business for her. I mean, she's built her empire for those girls as well, being on TV.
Well, all I know is that they want to make a lot more money. They should televise the process of getting a divorce and what that entails and what it's like. They should just open the door to this whole messy process. I know they say they're going to be friends, and maybe they will, but I don't feel like, in light of what's going on, I think it's going to be messy,
Oh,
And
I really hope not. I hope that we see something played out that needs to be played out, meaning they can find a way to prioritize the kids and to keep it clean. There's plenty of money to go around here, and that we can all learn something from it. Let's just hope. I'm going to be positive. You know me.
I'll be positive, but I'm telling you, you might help some people going through divorce if you just televise the whole process. Here's the reality of it. Here's the ugliness of it. Here's the sadness of it. You know, they've made a fortune already televising everything else. Why not televise this process?
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
There you go.
Well, let's talk about some more positive somethings.
We talk about Sandra Bullock for just a second.
Sure.
Well, you know, her movie Gravity is out in theaters now, and you and I talked when I got back from the Toronto Film Festival. That was kind of the buzz. Sat down with her a few weeks ago to talk about the film. She looks fantastic. She's absolutely going to get nominated for an Oscar in this. I think she's did a much better job in this than she did in The Blind Side, which she won the Oscar for.
Right.
It is unlike anything you've ever seen. My only advice for all of your listeners, try and see it in 3D. Just trust me on this, because I've never been a huge 3D fan.
So what if you have motion sickness? Because I'm not really good in 3D theaters or those big, domed things.
Well, you know what? That actually might be a factor. My stepson went to see it last night, and he says, and he did not see it in 3D, and he says, I think if I had, I might have gotten a little nauseated.
Yeah.
I did not. I had no issues, and I don't like those rides either, those body wars when you're getting jolted around. There is a lot of that, but it's an unbelievable ride. It really is, and I'm so impressed.
I'm excited to see it. Just that few minutes that you see in the trailer where you see her face and she is the horror in her face that she is out there completely alone. Oh, it just caught me.
And can I tell you, I actually don't think they did a good enough job with those trailers or the clips that everybody sees on television. They didn't do much for me. When you see the film, it's off the charts. It's just a visual, visceral experience.
Oh my gosh. So you suggest that Charlie and I go to the movie theater to see that this weekend?
Yeah, but you're right. Don't eat a full hot dog with all the cheese and chili before you head to this film, because you might lose your life. So be careful.
Okay. We will definitely not do that. So what else have you got to talk about as far as movies in Hollywood?
Well, this is actually really interesting. So when we were in Toronto, the face of the festival was that British actor Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah.
Will be familiar to your listeners in Sherlock Holmes. He was in the Star Trek film. He's got 4 or 5 films coming out. You will recognize him. He stars in a movie called The Fifth Estate, which is a film about WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange.
Oh, right.
Now, I did not love the film, but I love him, and he is fantastic as Julian Assange, who, by the way, is still living in the Ecuadorian embassy in London to avoid extradition, issues to Sweden, where there's kind of a sexual abuse charge against him.
Oh, my gosh.
Sometime in the past 48 hours, WikiLeaks published, and I just think this is going to help the movie tremendously, go figure, WikiLeaks published the letter that Julian Assange sent to the actor, discouraging him from taking on this role and coming out against the film. According to Julian Assange, this movie that DreamWorks is making, or already made, obviously, was based on a slanderous book by a former employee who was out to get him, blah, blah, blah. No matter what you think of Julian Assange, the fact that WikiLeaks published the letter he sent to Benedict, I think is great publicity for the film, because it's going to make people read this thing and go, ooh, he did not want him doing this movie. This movie, according to him, is terrible and inaccurate. Now I got to go see it.
Oh, my gosh.
That just happened in the last 48 hours. Benedict Cumberbatch, when I sat down with him, told me that he had reached out to Julian and again was turned down, which obviously refers to this letter. He also admitted that even though Julian Assange is against it, he does care about what he thinks of his performance. And I'm not sure if he's even seen the movie Assange.
Oh, wow.
Benedict is excellent, absolutely excellent. And I even went back to watch some old footage of Julian Assange. He's got this Australian accent. He's from Australia. And he just nails them. He's so good.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's my talk for you. That opens on the 18th of October. It opens next week or in 2 weeks in theaters around the country.
Will you have some news?
Oh, my little segment.
Yeah.
That you've helped me focus and pick the picture.
Well, I got to take care of my girl Tara.
Well, you are. You know what? You are the best. If anyone has a marketing question, forward them to Moll.
Oh, please do. Yes.
Yeah, starting at the end of October, I'll have a weekly segment on CBS here in Phoenix called Tara's Real, R-E-E-L. Get it? Get it?
Yes.
Travels. Tara's Real Travels.
I love it. That's so catchy.
Well, you helped me with all of it, and again, sometimes, as you can probably tell if you listen, I'm all over the map, and I talk fast, and I think fast. You've really helped me. So thank you for bringing it up. I'll put it on the web. We'll probably put a link to your site.
Absolutely.
These interviews that we talk about.
Well, and you are such a great interviewer. We'll look forward to that. I'm very happy for you with your Tara's Real adventures, and you'll come back soon, I hope.
Oh, are you kidding me? I will always come to the Moll House.
Oh, thanks, doll. Well, be sure to check out TaraOnTV.com. Thanks, Tara.
Tell Charlie hi. Thanks for having us at your mansion.
Thanks. Say hi to Kendall.